The league is on the air. It's Monday, May 27th, 1946. As we wave farewell to the month of May, the rhythms of the league grow ever more familiar, yet the stories remain fresh, each box score telling its own tale of hope, heartbreak, and the enduring poetry of the game. In the American League, the Detroit Tigers maintained their perch atop the standings at 25-15. Their combination of timely hitting and resilient pitching making them the class of the circuit thus far. Stan Spence, the sweet-swinging outfielder, continues to dazzle, batting over .400 and getting on base nearly half the time. A throwback to the pure hitters of an earlier era. Besides him, Bill Salkeld and Eddie Robinson have kept the runs coming, while Fritz Ostermuller's 6 victories and a barely over 2 ERA anchor a staff that barely blinks. But the Tigers feel the hot breath of the Yankees, just a game back and very much alive in every late-inning contest. Hank Greenberg's power and Virgil Trux's pinpoint pitching, second in the league in ERA, keep New York in the thick of every race. The White Sox and Browns, both on the rise, are making things interesting. Stan Musial, a National Leaguer by birth, but tearing up the AL in this universe, remains the league's best all-around threat, already at 2.6 wins above replacement. And Dom DiMaggio is quietly emerging as a force in Chicago. There are storm clouds over Cleveland and Boston, teams searching for answers as losses mount. But in a season this young, hope is never truly extinguished. Across the National League, it's a tightly packed affair. The Cubs have found ways to win, not always with flair, clinging to a narrow lead at 23-16. Johnny Pesky's .351 average and Ted Williams' league-best 36 walks set the table, while the pitching trio of Bill Bevins, Hank Wise, and Preacher Rowe keeps Chicago in almost every game. The Giants and Cardinals are right there, New York led by the ice-cold efficiency of Ed Lopat, whose 2.09 ERA and 8 wins top the circuit, and St. Louis flashing both power and pitching depth. Brooklyn, once red-hot, has hit a bump, while the Phillies, behind a stunning 6-game win streak, are surging up both the standings and the power rankings. On the individual side, Augie Gallan's .353 average and .467 on-base percentage shine in Cincinnati. But it's Johnny Mize's bat that may be the most feared, leading in home runs and slugging, always a threat with runners aboard. Meanwhile, Murray Dixon, Ed Lopat, and Johnny Smits continue to pile up wins and innings, throwing back to an era when starting pitchers finished what they began. The power rankings tell the tale of a league in flux. Detroit still on top, the Yankees gaining steam, and the Phillies rocketing into the top 6. The parity is real. 10 teams within striking distance, every series with postseason implications. So as the calendar flips and the weather warms, the league's story remains unwritten. Each day a new hero, each week a new surprise. In ballparks across the country, laughter in the bleachers, the crack of the bat, the anxious murmur before the 9th inning. The sights and sounds of 1946 baseball remind us that in this game, every week is a chance for something remarkable. And that, in the end, is what keeps us watching and listening. And now for the weekly team power rankings. Here are the best teams in baseball, ranked 1 through 9. The full list is available in the Baseball Guide. The number 1 team in baseball, the Detroit Tigers. They're holding steady. The number 2 team in baseball are the New York Yankees. They're on the rise. The number 3 team, the Chicago Cubs. They've fallen slightly. The St. Louis Browns are number 4. They're rising quickly. The Chicago White Sox are on the rise. They're number 5. The Philadelphia Phillies are rising quickly. They're number 6. The St. Louis Cardinals are falling. They're number 7. The Giants are holding steady at number 8. And the Brooklyn Dodgers are falling at number 9. Let's take a look at the highlights of last week's games. Beginning with Monday, the 20th, the Yankees defeated the Cleveland Indians 7-0. The White Sox at home defeated the Senators 5-1. In the National League, the Braves over the Cubs and the Dodgers over the Reds by the same 3-0 score. On Tuesday, the Tigers win big at home over the Red Sox 10-2. The Yankees defeat the Guardians 7-4. And the Browns at home defeat the Philadelphia Athletics 7-4. In the National League, the Giants win over the Pirates at home. The Phillies begin their win streak, defeating the St. Louis Cardinals with a walk-off victory in the bottom of the 11th inning, 9-8. On Wednesday, the 22nd, the Tigers continue their winning ways, defeating the Yankees at home 6-3. The Red Sox shut out the Guardians 10-0. The White Sox at home in Comiskey defeat the Athletics 6-2. In the National League, the Dodgers defeat the Cubs 4-3. Phillies over the Pirates 8-7 with 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th. And the Giants over the Cardinals 7-3. On Thursday the 23rd, the Yankees defeat the Tigers 9-5, a road win for the Yanks. The White Sox over the A's 4-3 at Comiskey Park. Browns defeat the Senators at home 4-3 in the National League. The Dodgers again victorious over the Cubs 8-7 with 5 runs in the bottom of the 9th. Cardinals 7-4 over the Giants. And the Phillies defeat the Pirates 5-4. On Friday the 24th, Sox and Tigers do battle at Comiskey Park, White Sox winning 4-1. In the National League, the Cubs defeat the Pirates 3-1. And the Giants edge the Braves 3-2 at home. Saturday, the 25th, Sox and Tigers tangle. Sox win at home 3-2. The Yankees over the Red Sox 4-3 at Fenway. In the National League, the Braves over the Giants 8-5. The Cubs defeat the Pirates at Forbes Field 3-2. The Phillies over the Brooklyn Dodgers, continuing their winning streak 5-4. Then Showcase Sunday, the 26th. The Tigers sweep the White Sox in a doubleheader, 9-1 in Game 1 and 8-6 in Game 2. The Yankees and Red Sox split a doubleheader. Yankees victorious in the first game 8-1. The Red Sox returning the favor 4-2 in the nightcap. Senators and Athletics, they split. Washington 2-1 in the first game. The A's shutting out the Senators 4-0 in the nightcap. The Browns sweep the Guardians in a doubleheader. winning 6-1 and 6-4. In the National League, the Phillies and Dodgers play a single game, with the Phillies continuing their winning streak 4-1. Cubs and Bucks play a twin bill, splitting it. Pirates winning the first game 7-2, Cubs winning the nightcap 6-5. Cardinals and Reds. Reds win the first game 5-4, Cardinals win the second game 6-4. Giants and Braves. Game 1 goes to the Giants 13-5, but the Braves win the nightcap 3-1. And that brings us to today, Week 7. Well, we'll sim through Saturday and showcase Sunday. Now let's take a look at our combined stolen base leaders. Left fielder George Case of the Washington Senators has 7 stolen bases, along with left fielder Augie Galan of Cincinnati and Johnny Hopp of the Boston Braves. The leaders in saves: Herman Bess of St. Louis has 6 saves, along with Johnny Gee of the Detroit Tigers. George Castor of the Brooklyn Dodgers has 4 saves. Now the combined team leaders in stolen bases. The St. Louis Cardinals lead, followed by the Brooklyn Dodgers and the Washington Senators. Leaders in combined bullpen ERA. The Philadelphia Phillies lead, followed by the Cincinnati Reds and the New York Giants. Now let's look at the American League leaders in wins above replacement. The batting war: Stan Musial leads, followed by Stan Spence of Detroit and Bill Salkeld of the Tigers. The pitching war leader in the American League is Virgil Trax of the Yankees, followed by Hal Newhouser of the Guardians and Tex Houston of the Philadelphia Athletics. In the National League, the batter war leader is Whitey Kurowski, followed by Pee Wee Reese and Johnny Mize of the Pirates. The pitcher war leader from the Dodgers, Max Lanier, the Giants' Ed Lopat, and Ewell Blackwell of the Phillies. In the American League, the Detroit Tigers lead the Yankees by a game. They have a run differential twice that of their nearest competitor at +60. Their home and away records are above 500. They're 2-3 in extra inning games and above 500 in one-run games. They're above 500 on both sides of the mound, and they've won 6 of their last 10, including their last 2. The Yankees are +14 in run differential. They're 500 at home and better on the road. They've won 7 of their last 10. The White Sox are +13 in run differential. Their home and away records are above average. And they've won 8 of their last 10. They've lost their last 2. In the National League, the Cubs lead with a +15 run differential. They're above 500 home and away, and they're 9-5 in one-run games. They've split their last 10. The Giants trail by a game. They're +30 in run differential. They have a losing record at home. They've lost 6 of their last 10, including the last game. The Cardinals have a run differential of +3, the Dodgers plus 21, and the Pirates have a run differential of plus 29, but they are underachieving by a differential from the Pythagorean of minus 4. Now it's time to sim through Saturday. Now we will sim through Saturday, beginning at Monday, May 27th. We'll sim each day's results. First for Monday, then Tuesday, May 28th, Wednesday, May 29th, the results, Thursday, May 30th, Friday, May 31st, and now it's Saturday, June 1st. The results. And now it's Sunday, June 2nd. Before we showcase Sunday, let's take a look at the expanded standings. The result of sim through Saturday shows the Detroit Tigers still leading the New York Yankees by a game and a half. Their run differential has increased to plus 62. They are slightly underachieving. They are still 5-5 in their last 10 games, and they lost their last contest. The Yankees are plus 7 in run differential. They are overachieving, and they are 5-5 in their last 10. The Browns are now in third place, 3 games back. Their run diff is plus 14. They've won 7 of their last 10, but they've lost their last 2. The White Sox has a 0 run diff, and they've lost 6 of their last 10. In the National League, the Cubs have expanded their lead over the Brooklyn Dodgers, now in second place. The Dodgers trail by 4 games. The Cubs now have a run differential of plus 33. They are overachieving. Their one-run game record is now 11-5. They've won 9 of their last 10, and they've won 8 in a row. But they're not as hot as the Philadelphia Phillies, who are now plus 27 in run differential, 4.5 games behind the Cubs, and they've won 11 in a row. The Boston Braves have lost 5 straight. How about the Guardians in the American League who have won 4 straight? Now it's time to showcase Sunday. Here are the matchups for Sunday, June 2nd, 1946. All the games are scheduled doubleheaders except for the 2 p.m. contest between the Washington Senators and the Detroit Tigers. The Boston Red Sox at 17-28 host the Chicago White Sox at 22-21. The Yankees at 27-20 host the St. Louis Browns at 25-21. This will be the American League featured game. The Philadelphia Athletics at 23-25 host the Cleveland Guardians at 19-27. The Chicago Cubs at 30-16, the best record in baseball, host the Boston Braves at 17-29. This will be the National League showcase game. The Cincinnati Reds at 18-29 host the Brooklyn Dodgers at 26-20. The Pittsburgh Pirates host at 22-24 host the Philadelphia Phillies at 24-19. And the St. Louis Cardinals at 22-23 host the New York Giants at 24-23. The Washington Senators at 22-23 host the Detroit Tigers at 28-18 in a single game. In this matchup, the Tigers will send undefeated pitcher Joe Hatton at 5-0 with a 2.04 ERA to the mound. Now it's time for the American League showcase game. From Yankee Stadium, the Yankees host the St. Louis Browns. Here's the starting lineup for the St. Louis Browns. The leadoff man, Eddie Stanky, at second base. Buddy Lewis in right field. Joe Medwick at left. The cleanup hitter, Andy Pafko, in center. Bobby Brown in short. Rudy York at first. Grady Hatton at third base. Al Wagner, the catcher. And the starting pitcher, Dave Kozlow. In 8 games, his record is 2-5 with a 3.64 ERA and a 1.32 WHIP. He's 26 years old. And the starting lineup for the New York Yankees. The leadoff man, Thurman Tucker, at center. Mickey Witek at second. Ernie Lombardi, the catcher. Ralph Kiner in left, the cleanup hitter. Bill Rigney, he's cold, at third base. Dick Culler at short. Steve Sochuk at first base. Pat Siri, the right fielder. And the starting pitcher, Bob Kuzawa. In 8 games, he's 4-3 with a 4.85 ERA and a 1.44 WHIP. He's 23 years old. "18,000 fans in the stands, clear skies, 71 degrees, wind blowing in from right at 8 miles per hour. The New York Yankees are in second place in the American League with a record of 27-20. They are 12-13 at home. The St. Louis Browns are in third place with a record of 25-21. They are 11-10 on the road. Let's play ball. Welcome, baseball fans. Today, the Yankees square off against the Browns. With a record of 25-21, St. Louis is in third in the AL. New York has a record of 27-20, putting them in second. New York has taken 3 of 5 from St. Louis this year. It's 71 degrees, and there's not a single cloud in sight. The wind blowing in from right. First pitch is coming up. Pitching for the Yankees, Bob Kuzawa.
Strike three.
He's 4-3 with a 4.85 ERA, striking out 23 in 55 and 2/3 innings pitched. Here's Eddie Stanky. The 0-2 pitch. He swings and misses, strike three, and that gets us underway. Let's look at the defense for the, ground ball to the first baseman. And he is out at first, unassisted for the second out. Let's take a look at the defense for the New York Yankees. In left field, Ralph Kiner. Thurman Tucker in center. And Pat Siri over in right. The third baseman, Bill Rigney. Dick Culler at short. Mickey Whitek at second base. And Steve Solchuk at first. The battery. Ernie Lombardi behind the plate. And the left-hand pitcher, Bob Kuzawa, on the mound. Stepping to the plate for the Browns is Joe Medwick. He's hitting .261 with 3 home runs and 20 runs batted in. The left-hand pitcher Kuzawa versus the righty Medwick. 2 out, top of the first inning, no score. Here's the pitch. Swings and misses, strike three, and that retires the side. The strikeout raises his season total to 20. Down in order goes St. Louis. Bottom of the first inning, and there's no score. Here's the defense for the St. Louis Browns. Joe Medwick in left field. Andy Pafko in center. And Buddy Lewis in right field. Their third baseman is Grady Hatton. Bobby Brown at short. Eddie Stanky at second. And Rudy York over at first. The battery, Al Wagner behind the plate. And on the mound, left-hander Dave Kozlow. For the Yankees, it'll be Tucker, Whitek, and Lombardi due up. Bottom of the first inning, no score. Here's the left-hand hitter Tucker versus the left-hand pitching Kozlow for the Browns. The pitch. He swings and misses, strike three, and that's the first out. Now coming to the plate, right-hand hitter Mickey Whitek. He's .297 on the year with 3 homers and 28 runs batted in. Left-hand pitcher Kozlow versus the righty Whitek. The pitch. That's on the ground to the first baseman. He scoops it up and will throw to the pitcher covering for the out. 2 away. The right-hand hitter Ernie Lombardi will step in. The catcher is hitting .270. 6 homers, 19 runs batted in. Right-hand hitter versus the lefty Kozlow. Here's the pitch. He checks his swing, and it's ball 4. The full count pitch misses, and he'll take his base. Lombardi with the 2-out walk. And the batter is right-hand hitter Ralph Kiner. The cleanup hitter is on a hot streak. He's got a flame by his name. He's hitting .247 on the year, 8 home runs, 27 runs batted in. Lefty versus righty, the pitch. That's in the air to right field, and that will get down for a base hit. The runner on second will stop at second. Kiner with a 2-out single. And there's 2 on with 2 out. The batter, right-hand hitter, Bill Rigney. The third baseman is hitting .265, 3 homers, and 24 runs batted in. The lefty Kozlow now ready. That misses, ball 4, and the bases are loaded with 2 out. The changeup misses. Bottom of the first inning, 2 out, still no score, but the Yankees have loaded the bases. The batter, right-hand hitter Dick Culler. Culler is the shortstop. He's hitting .262, 1 homer, 11 runs batted in. Left-hand pitcher Kozlo versus the righty Culler, the pitch. 2 out. That's in the air to right field, and that will get down for a base hit. 1 run is in. Another man has hit it home. There's a throw to the plate, and the second runner is out at the plate. So the Yankees only managed to score 1. Wait a minute. Let's see what they're saying. They're saying 2 runs. Let's see what happened here. A triple. Wait. Okay, it was a single. Lombardi scores. Kiner to third. Rigney the second. Runner on third tries for home safe. Oh, so he was safe. Out at third. The throw came home, I thought. Okay, so the runner at third called out. 2 runs score, and the Yankees take a 2-0 lead. Yankees get 2 hits, including a home run. A home run. A home run. Oh boy. And posts the 2-run inning. New York jumps out in front, 2-0. Who hit a home run? I don't understand. Okay. 2-run score. Yankees lead 2-0. Top of the second inning. For the Browns, it'll be Pafko, Brown, and York due up. On the mound, left-hand Kuzawa. He's walked no one, struck out 2. Lefty versus the right-hand hitter, the pitch. That's in the air to left field. He scarcely has to move and makes the catch for the first out. Here's the left-hand hitter, Bobby Brown. He's the shortstop, hitting .270. No homers, 6 runs batted in. Lefty versus lefty. 1 out. Here's the pitch. That's on the ground, past the second baseman into right field for a hit. The 1-out base knock puts the runner aboard. Decent speed at first as the right-hand hitter Rudy York will step to the plate. He's the number 6 hitter. The first baseman hitting .196, 3 homers, 17 runs batted in. 1 out. Browns lead. Browns trail by 2. Here's the pitch. That pitch misses, ball 4, and he'll take his base. 2 men on with 1 out. Top of the second inning. The go-ahead run will step to the plate. The left-hand hitter, Grady Hatton. He's the number 7 hitter. The third baseman is hitting .247. 7 runs, 7 home runs, and 28 runs batted in. Lefty versus lefty. Kuzawa delivers. That's in the air to left field. He runs toward the line, and he'll make the catch for the second out. Still 2 on, but 2 out. The left-hand hitter, Hal Wagner, will step to the plate. The number 8 hitter is the catcher, hitting .180, 1 homer, 9 runs batted in. The left-hand hitter versus the lefty, Kuzawa. Here's the pitch. That's on the ground to the second baseman. He'll throw to first to retire the side. The inning is over. No runs, a hit, no errors. 2 runners left on. New York still leading 2-0. Bottom of the second inning. For the Yankees, it'll be Sochik, Siri, and Kuzawa, the pitcher, due up. Left-hand pitcher Kozlo has walked 2 and struck out 1 in 1 inning of work. The right-hand hitter Steve Sochik will step to the plate. On the season, he's 4 for 9. with 5 runs batted in. Here's the pitch from the lefty, Kozlo. That's in the air, hit sharply. It's in the gap, and it'll go all the way to the wall in right center field. The runner is rounding second and headed for third. There'll be no throw. The throw will be late as he will make it to third for a triple. He hit that ball hard and went around the bases very quickly. Good speed at third base in Steve Sochik. For his few at-bats, he's really doing well. Runner on third, nobody out, bottom of the second inning. The Yankees already lead by 2. The right-hand hitter, Pat Siri, will step to the plate. The number 8 hitter is the right fielder. He's hitting .211, 5 homers, 16 runs batted in. Left-hand pitcher, Kozlo, versus the righty, Siri, the pitch. And that's a strike called, and that's the first out of the inning. Right-hand hitter, the pitcher, Bob Kuzava, will step to the plate. He's 1 for 17 on the season with 1 run batted in. The right-hand hitter versus the lefty, Kozlo. Suchuk at third base with 1 out. Here's the pitch. He swings and misses, strike 3, and that's the second out. The leadoff man, Thurman Tucker, will step in, the left-hand hitter versus the lefty, Kozlo. He's hitting .312 on the year. No homers, 11 runs batted in. He's 0 for 1 today. Trying not to leave the leadoff triple stranded. Here's the pitch from the lefty. He hits it on the ground to third base. He scoops it up, fires across the diamond to retire the side. That's the inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and they leave the man stranded at third. The score is still 2-0 Yankees. Top of the third inning. For the Browns, it'll be the pitcher, Kozlo, leading off, followed by the leadoff hitter, Stanky, and Lewis. The lefty, Kuzava, versus the left-hand hitter, Kozlo, the pitcher. Here's the pitch. Top of the third, 2-0 Yankees. That's hit sharply to first, and he bobbles it, and that'll be an error on the first baseman. Dave Kozlo, the pitcher, is safe at first on the error on the first baseman, Steve Sochik. The right-hand hitter, Eddie Stanky, will step in. He's the leadoff man. Second baseman is hitting .284 with no homers and 16 runs batted in. He's 0 for 1 today. The pitcher at first, the left-hand pitcher, Kuzava, on the mound, ready to deliver. Right-hand hitter, ready. Hit it on the ground to the mound. Pitcher picks it up. He turns and throws the second base and gets him out on the fielder's choice. So the lead runner is the first out of the inning. Eddie Stanky is safe at first. Good speed aboard. With 1 out, the left-hand hitter, Buddy Lewis, will step in. He's the number 2 hitter. The right fielder is 0 for 1 today. Lefty versus lefty, the pitch. That's hit on the ground to short. He'll go to second for 1, and he'll only get the force play. Mickey Whitek may have been hurt there. The trainer examines his right shoulder, but Whitek is able to shake it off. That's the second out of the inning. The Browns still trailing by 2. The right-hand hitter, Joe Medwick, will represent the tying run. The left fielder is 0 for 1 today. Here's the pitch from the left-hand pitcher. That's in the air to right. He scarcely has to move and will make the catch to retire the side. Inning over. 1 error, but St. Louis gets nothing. The score remains the same, 2-0 New York. Bottom of the third inning. For the Yankees, it'll be Whitek, Lombardi, and Kiner due up. Left-hand pitcher Kozlo has walked 2 and struck out 3 in 2 innings of work. The batter, Mickey Whitek. He's hitting .295 on the year. 3 homers, 28 runs batted in. He's 0 for 1 today. Here's the pitch from the lefty to the right-hand hitter. That's hit sharply to first. He'll take it himself for the first out of the inning. He scalded that ball, but Rudy York at first base for the Browns handled the play. Here's the right-hand hitter Ernie Lombardi stepping in. The catcher is hitting .270. No official at bat. He's got 6 homers and 19 runs batted in. Lefty versus righty. The delivery. And it hit him. And he'll take his base. First pitch, he uncorked one. And the batter's at first. Lombardi at first base. The right-hand hitter Kiner will step in. He's the cleanup hitter. He's on a hot streak. The left fielder is hitting .251 with 8 homers and 27 runs batted in. He's 1 for 1 today. The lefty Kozlo ready. The right-hander strings and misses. Strike 3. 2 out now. Here's the right-hander Bill Rigney. He's the third baseman. He's hitting .265 on the season. 3 homers and 24 runs batted in. Lombardi at first with 2 out. Yankees already lead by 2. Here's the pitch from the lefty Kozlo. That's on the ground to third base and is by him into left field for a base hit. It'll go all the way into the corner, and that'll be a double. The runner on third is hit it home, and the cutoff man will not make a throw. That'll give the Yankees a 3-0 lead. So Rigney's on second with a double, scoring a run, and the Yankees now lead 3-0. Bottom of the third inning, 2 out. The hitter, right-hander, Dick Culler. Culler's 1 for 1 today with 2 runs batted in. Here's the pitch from Kozlo. That's on the ground to the second baseman. He scoops it up and throws the first to retire the side. The home third is over. 1 run, a runner left on. The score is now 3-0 Yankees. Top of the 4th inning. For the Browns, it'll be Pafko, Brown, and York due up. Left-hand pitcher Kuzawa, in 3 innings of work, has walked 1 and struck out 2. The batter is Pafko. He's 0 for 1 today. Here's the pitch from the lefty. He hits that up in the air on the infield. The second baseman will step on the infield grass and make the catch for the first out. That'll bring up the left-hander Bobby Brown. The shortstop is 1 for 1 today. Lefty versus lefty, the pitch. That's on the ground to short. He dives for it, picks it up, throws the first, and the first baseman can't handle the throw, and it'll be an error on the shortstop. Runner safe. Dick Culler gets the E6 for the Yankees. Bobby Brown at first. The batter, right-hand hitter Rudy York, the number 6 hitter. The first baseman's 196 on the year. 3 homers, 17 runs batted in. Here's the pitch from the lefty, Kuzawa. That's hit sharply to left field, and it's in the corner, and that's extra bases. He's hit it for second. The runner is rounding third and hit it home. There'll be a throw. The throw is cut off. They get him at third base, and he's out at third. He's not able to stretch that into a triple, but the double will score a run and put St. Louis on the board. The Browns draw closer. The score 3-1. 2 out now, the top of the 4th inning. The bases are empty, and the batter is Grady Hatton, the left-hander, versus the left-hand pitching Kuzawa. The score now 3-1 Yankees. Here's the pitch. 2 out. He swings and misses strike 3, and the inning is over. Strikeout number 20 for Grady Hatton this season. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error. Nobody left on. New York now leads the score 3-1. Bottom of the 4th inning. For the Yankees, it'll be Sochik, Siri, and the pitcher Kuzawa due up. The lefty Kozlo, in 3 innings of work, has walked 2 and struck out 4. Here's the right-hand hitter Steve Sochik. He's 1 for 1 today. Bottom of the 4th inning. Yankees lead 3-1. At Yankee Stadium. Here's the pitch. That's it in the air, past the shortstop into center field for a base hit. The center fielder will get it back into the shortstop. And with nobody out, Steve Sochuk leads off with a single. That'll bring up the right-handed hitter, Pat Siri. He's the number 8 hitter. He's 0 for 1 today. 209 on the season, 5 homers, 16 runs batted in. Lefty Kozlo versus the right-hand hitter, Siri. Here's the pitch. And that misses, ball 4. Sochuk to second. That's walk number 3 for Kozlo. Nobody out. The batter, right-hand hitter, the pitcher, Kuzawa. He's 1 for 18 on the season, 0 for 1 today. Right-hand hitter versus the lefty. Here's the delivery. He lays down a bunt to the third base side. He picks it up, throws the first in time to get the pitcher, and that'll advance the runners. 1 away. Sochuk at third, Siri at second. The Yankees already lead by 2, 3-1, here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The left-hander Thurman Tucker will step in. He's the leadoff man. He's 0 for 2 today. Here's the pitch, lefty versus lefty. That's a dribbler in front of the plate. The catcher will pick it up and throw to first to get him for the second out. The runners cannot advance. 2 out now. The right-hand hitter Mickey Whitek will step in. He's 0 for 2 today. Left-hand pitcher Kozlo facing the righty Whitek. The delivery. That's on the ground to second. He picks it up, throws the first in time, and that will retire the side. The Yankees get 2 base runners but do not score. Yankees still leading 3-1. Top of the 5th inning. For the Browns, it'll be Wagner, Kozlo, and Stanky due up. The left-hand pitcher Bob Kuzawa, his 4 innings of work, has walked 1 and struck out 3. Left-hand hitter Wagner will step in. He's 0 for 1 today. Lefty versus lefty. Top of the 5th. Browns trail by 2. That's hit to the shortstop sharply. He picks it up. Delivers it to first in time for the first out. The left-hand hitter Dave Kozlo will step in. He's the cleanup. He's the number 9 hitter, the pitcher. Lefty versus lefty. Here's the 1-out pitch. That's on the ground to short. Second base. He picks it up. Throws the first in time for the second out. The right-hand hitter Stanky will step in. Lefty versus righty. Stanky's the leadoff man. He's 0 for 2 today. Here's the pitch from the lefty. That's on the ground to the second baseman. He races to it, picks it up, throws the first to retire the side. Zip for St. Louis. St. Louis still leads it 3-1. Bottom of the 5th inning. For the Yankees, it'll be Lombardi, Kiner, and Rigney due up. The left-hand Kozlo, in 4 innings of work, has walked 3 and struck out 4. Here's the right-hand hitter Ernie Lombardi. The number 3 hitter has no official back today. Here's the pitch. And that misses, ball 4, and they walk him. Lombardi has now walked 16 times this season. Right-hand hitter Ralph Kiner will step in. He's the cleanup man. He's 1 for 2 today. He's on a hot streak. Left-hand pitcher Kozlo delivering. Nobody out. That's in the air to right. He races toward the infield and makes the catch for the first out. The runner at first will hold. Here's the number 5 hitter, right-hand hitter Bill Rigney. He's 1 for 1 with a run batted in. Lefty versus righty. Here's the pitch. And that's in there. No, it misses, ball 4, and he'll take his base. Lombardi to second. That's 5 walks now for Dave Kozlo. Bottom of the 5th inning. The Yankees leading by 2, threatening again. The right-hand hitter Color will step to the plate. The number 6 hitter is 1 for 2 with 2 runs batted in. Here's the pitch from lefty Kozlo. The right-hand hitter ready. He hits it sharply to third. He picks it up, steps on third to get the force play for the fielder's choice. Bill Rigney will advance to second base. That's the second out of the inning. So Grady Hatton for the Browns, the third baseman, makes the play at third, the force play. The right-hand hitter Steve Suchuk will step in. He's 2 for 2 today. He's 6 for 11 on the season with 5 runs batted in. That's a .545 average and a .1485 OPS. The left-hand pitcher Kozlo now ready. The full count 2-out pitch. That's it on the ground to second. He picks it up, takes his time, and throws the first to retire the side. That will end it. 2 walks in the inning, but the Yankees do not score. No change in the score as the Yankees are still up 3-1. Top of the 6th inning. For the Browns, it'll be Lewis, Medvick, and Pafko due up. Left-hand pitcher Bob Kuzawa, in 5 innings of work, has walked 1 and struck out 3. He's allowed 2 hits today. Here's left-hand hitter Buddy Lewis, the number 2 hitter. He's 0 for 2. Lefty versus lefty, the pitch from Kuzawa. And he hit him. The 2-2 pitch hits him. A curveball at 66 miles per hour, and he'll take first base. The leadoff man is hit by pitch, and that'll bring up the right-hand hitter, Joe Medvick. The number 3 hitter is 0 for 2 today. Lefty versus righty. Here's the pitch. That's in the air on the infield. The second baseman is there, and he'll make the catch for the first out. Lewis at first. Right-hand hitter Andy Pafko will step in. He's the cleanup hitter, hitting .314 on the year. 3 homers, 30 runs batted in. He's 0 for 2 today. Lefty versus righty. The delivery. That's hit on the ground in front of the plate. The catcher tries to pick it up, and he bobbles it, and that'll be an error on the catcher. And the runners are safe. Ernie Lombardi of the Yankees has an error charged to him. Lewis is at second base for the Browns. Pafko at first. The batter, left-hand hitter Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown will step in. He's the number 5 hitter. The shortstop's hitting .277. He's 1 for 2 today. Lefty versus lefty. The tying run is at first. The go-ahead run's at the plate. Top of the 6th inning, 1 out. We're here at Yankee Stadium. Browns versus Yankees. Here's the pitch from lefty Kuzawa. That's it on the ground, slowly to the shortstop. He picks it up and makes the throw to first, and the first baseman cannot handle the throw. The runner is safe. The bases are loaded. That's an error charge to the shortstop. So Dick Culler, the shortstop for the Yankees, is charged with an error. That's the 4th error today for the Yankees. The bases are loaded with 1 out. The Browns trail by 2. The right-hand hitter, Rudy York, will step in. He's 1 for 1 with a run batted in. The left-hand hitter, Kuzawa, trying to pitch out of trouble. He's ready. And that ball gets away. That'll score a run. A wild pitch. Lewis scores. Pafko to third base. Brown to second. So that makes the score Yankees 3, Browns 2. Andy Pafko at third base. Bobby Brown at second base. The batter, right-hand hitter Rudy York. He's the number 6 hitter. The first baseman's hitting .201 on the year. He's 1 for 1 today with a run batted in. The lefty facing the right-hand hitter. 1 out. That's it on the ground to the shortstop. He'll throw home, and he'll get them at home on the fielder's choice. The run does not score, and the Yankees still lead 3-2. The play by shortstop Dick Culler to throw him out at home to catcher Ernie Lombardi of the Yankees. 2 out now in the top of the 6th inning. The batter, left-hand hitter Grady Hatton. He's 0 for 2. Bobby Brown at third, Rudy York at first base. Here's the pitch from left-hand pitcher Kuzawa to the left-hand hitter. And he balks, and that will force in a run. This game is tied. Bobby Brown scores, Rudy York to second base. The pitcher, Bob Kuzawa, committed a balk. Top of the 6th inning. The score now tied 3-3. The batter, left-hand hitter Grady Hatton. The count 1-2. He hits it in the air to left field. He's there to make the catch, and that retires the side. The Browns use 2 miscues by New York to score 2, and St. Louis draws even with New York 3-3. Bottom of the 6th inning, new ball game. For the Yankees, it'll be Siri, Kuzawa the pitcher, and the leadoff man Tucker due up. The left-hand pitcher Kozlo, in 5 innings of work, has walked 5, struck out 4. Here's the right-hand hitter Pat Siri stepping in. He's 0 for 1 today. The pitch from Kozlo. That misses, ball 4. He walked him on 4 pitches. That's walk number 6 for Dave Kozlo. Siri at first base. The batter, right-hand hitter Bob Kuzawa, the pitcher. He might be laying one down. Nobody out, bottom of the 6th. The score tied. Here's the pitch. He swings and misses, but he drops the strike. So the count is 1-2 to the pitcher Kuzawa. Siri at first base. The delivery. He swings and misses, strike 3, and he strikes out. That's the first out. Here's the leadoff man, left-hand hitter Thurman Tucker. He's 0 for 3. Pat Siri at first base. The score tied 3-3, bottom of the 6th inning, here at Yankee Stadium. The St. Louis Browns versus the New York Yankees in the Players League. Here's the pitch. He squares the bunt, and he missed it. 1 ball, 2 strike is the count. Here's the pitch. That's a little liner that's in the air, a pop-up that the catcher catches near the plate for the out. 2 out now. The right-hand hitter, Mickey Whitek, will step in. The number 2 hitter is 0 for 3 today. Pat Siri still at first base. The score tied 3-3. Lefty versus righty. He hits it on the ground to short. He'll go to second for the force play to retire the side. The 6th inning is over. No runs, no hits, a runner left on. The game remains tied at 3. Top of the 7th inning. For the Browns, it'll be Wagner, Kozlo, and Stanky. Bob Kuzawa, in his 6th inning, 6 innings of work, has walked 1 and struck out 3. The left-hand Wagner will step in. Here's the pitch to him. Top of the 7th, score tied 3-3. That's it on the ground to second base. He dives for it, picks it up, and makes a bad throw, and the first baseman can't handle it. The runner's headed for second on the error. They'll charge the error to the second baseman. That's the 5th error today committed by the New York Yankees. Second baseman Mickey Whitek committed the error. The batter will be right-hand hitter Leon Culberson. The pinch hitter will pinch hit for the pitcher. Hal Wagner at second base, nobody out. Left-hander Kuzawa on the mound. The right-hand pitch hitter ready. He swings and misses, strike 3. That's the first out. The leadoff man, Eddie Stanky, will step in. He's 0 for 3. Lefty versus righty. Wagner at second base represents the go-ahead run. St. Louis trailed most of the game, but managed to tie it up in the top of the 6th inning. Now we're in the 7th. The pitch has hit sharply to first base and is by him into right field for a base hit. The runner is headed home. The throw home is not in time, and the Browns will take the lead 4-3. Eddie Stanky delivers an RBI single, and Wagner scores. Browns now lead 4-3. This is their first lead of the day. Top of the 7th inning. Eddie Stanky at first base. Left-hand pitcher Bob Kuzava still on the mound, facing the lefty batter Buddy Lewis. Lewis is the number 2 hitter. He's 0 for 2 today. Kuzava now ready. That's it on the ground to first. He throws the second for 1. Back to first. 3-6-3 double play. Side retired. 1 run, nobody left on. St. Louis has taken the lead. It's 4-3 Browns. Stretch time at Yankee Stadium. Bottom of the 7th inning. The Browns will send out a new pitcher. It's Johnny Humphreys. He has no record. 5 innings pitched. He's allowed 6 hits, no earned runs. He's walked 2 and struck out 2. His ERA is 0. He's appeared in 3 games. The Yankees will send up Lombardi, Kiner, and Rigney here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Yankees trail by a run. Right-hand pitcher versus the right-hand hitter, Lombardi. Here's the pitch. That's hit in the air to center field. He runs toward the infield, and he'll make the catch for the first out. Andy Pafko makes the catch in center field for the St. Louis Browns. Here's the right-hand hitter, Ralph Kiner. The cleanup hitter is 1 for 3 today. Right-hand pitcher Humphreys versus the righty Kiner. The delivery. That's hit sharply to third. It's by him into left field for a base hit. The 1-out base knock for Kiner. And here's the right-hand hitter, Bill Rigney. Right-hander versus right-hander. Kiner at first. 1 out. Yankees trail by a run. The tying runs at first. Here's the pitch. That's in the air to center. He goes back a little bit. He won't get that. That's all the way to the wall. That's extra bases. A man rounding third, and he's hit it home. The batter will stop at second with a double, and the run will score. And the Yankees have tied it up. It's 4-4. RBI double for Bill Rigney. Bill Rigney at second base. The left-hand hitter, Johnny Barrett, steps in. He's the pinch hitter. On the season, he's 6 hits in 30 at-bats, 1 homer, 2 runs batted in. The right-hand pitcher, Humphreys, facing the lefty, Barrett. With a runner at second base. 1 out. That's a slow roller to the mound. He picks it up, throws the first in time. The man on second cannot move. That's 2 out. Here's the right-hand hitter, Hank Greenberg. He's the pinch hitter. Greenberg is hitting .282 on the year, 7 homers, 19 runs batted in. Righty versus righty. Here's the delivery from Humphreys. 2 out. That's in the air to center field. He runs toward left, and he'll make the catch to retire the side. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors. A runner left on. The game is now tied at 4. Top of the 8th inning. For the Browns, it'll be Medvick, Pafko, and Brown due up. Left-hand pitcher Bob Kuzava still on the mound. In 7 innings innings of work. He's walked 1 and struck out 4. Here's the right-hand hitter, Joe Medvick. He's 0 for 3. Lefty versus righty. The full count delivery. That misses, ball 4, and he walked it. Quite a battle, but he'll take his base. Medvick on first with nobody out. The score tied 4-4. Top of the 8th inning here at Yankee Stadium. Andy Pafko will step in. He's the cleanup hitter. He's 0 for 3 today. The left-hander Kuzawa delivers. That's hit sharply into left field for a base hit. It gets down. The runner on second will stop there. And with nobody out, they have 2 men on. The Browns are threatening. The batter, right-hand hitter, Jimmy Bloodworth. He's the pinch hitter. On the season, he's got 5 hits and 12 at-bats. The Yankees will send in a new pitcher. It'll be the left-hander, Earl Johnson. Johnson has a record of 1-2 in 16 1/3 innings pitched. He's allowed 29 hits, 19 earned runs. He's walked 10 and struck out 13. His earned run average is 10.47. The right-hand hitter Bloodworth will step in versus the lefty Earl Johnson. Here's the pitch. Nobody out. They say he's good at inducing ground balls. Oh, that's hit sharply to right field, but it's right at the right fielder, and he'll make the catch. That's out number 1. 2 men on, 1 out. Medvick at second, Pafko at first. The batter, right-hand hitter Rudy York. He's the number 6 hitter. He's 1 for 2 today with a run batted in. Lefty Johnson versus the righty York. The delivery. That's hit in the air to first base, and he'll make the catch. It was a line drive. The runner manages to get back as the ball was hit right at the first baseman. That's the second out. Top of the 8th inning, score tied 4-4. The Browns have 2 on, 2 out. Grady Hatton steps in. He's the third baseman. He's 0 for 3. Lefty versus lefty. Here's Johnson's pitch. That's hit sharply to first base. He'll take it himself for the unassisted putout to retire the side. St. Louis gets a hit and a walk, but nothing more. Browns and Yankees still tied 4-4. Bottom of the 8th inning. For the Yankees, it'll be Siri, Johnson, the pitcher, and Tucker, the leadoff man, due up. For the Browns, Johnny Humphreys in his second inning of work. He hasn't walked or struck out anyone. The batter is right-hand hitter Pat Siri. The number 8 hitter is 0 for 1 today. Righty versus righty. The pitch. He swings and misses, strike 3. That's the first out. Here's the pinch hitter, Cookie Lavangetto. He's got 15 hits and 46 at-bats, a homer, and 9 runs batted in, a .326 average. The right-hand pitcher Humphreys against the right-hand hitter Lavangetto. 1 out pitch. That's hit slowly to the mound. He'll pick it up. He'll throw to first, but not in time. He beats it out. They scored a single, and Lavangetto is at first base with 1 out. He's the go-ahead run. The left-hand hitter Thurman Tucker will step in, the leadoff man. He's 0 for 4 today. Right-hand pitcher against the left-hand hitter. He hits it weakly in front of the mound. The catcher picks it up and will throw to second base, and it's an errant throw, and the runners will advance. Error on the catcher. Lavangetto to third, and Tucker to second base. 1 out. So the go-ahead run is now 90 feet away for the Yankees. Hal Wagner charged with the error. That's the first error for the Browns. Here's the batter, right-hand hitter Mickey Whitek. The second, number 2 hitter, the second baseman, is 0 for 4. Here's the pitch. That's it in the air to right field. He's racing toward the line and he won't get it. He dives and then he picks it up. One man has scored. Another man is in, and that's a 2-run double for Whitek. He collects his 30th run batted in. New York leads 6-4. Mickey Whitek with the clutch double. The batter, right-hand hitter Ernie Lombardi. He's the number 3 hitter. He's 0 for 1 today. Righty versus righty. Here's the pitch. He hits that, and that's a base hit to right field. The runner rounds third, and he's hit it home. There's a throw home, and he is out at the plate. Nice throw by the right fielder for the Browns. That's Buddy Lewis in right for the St. Louis Browns. 2 out now, bottom of the 8th. The Yankees lead by 2. Ernie Lombardi at first base. The batter, right-hand hitter Ralph Kiner, the cleanup hitter. He's 2 for 4 today. Righty versus righty. Here's the pitch from Humphries. That's it in the air to right field. He runs in on it, but he won't get it. It's a base hit. The man is headed for third, and he'll make it. Runners on the corners with 2 out. The right-hand hitter, Bill Rigney, will now step in. The number 5 hitter. He's 2 for 2 with 2 runs batted in. Ernie Lombardi at third base. Ralph Kiner at first base for the Yankees. They already lead by 2 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 2 out. Here's the pitch from Humphries. He hits that on the ground to third. He picks it up. He'll throw to first. And it's a bad throw. He can't handle it. And that'll be an error charge to the third baseman. Ernie Lombardi will score. Ralph Kiner to second base. And it's now 7-4 New York. So New York now takes a 3-run lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The batter is Nanny Fernandez, the shortstop. He's the right-hand hitter versus the right-hand pitcher, Humphries. 2 out. Here's the pitch. That's it in the air, deep. Right center field is carrying, and it will leave the yard. A 3-run home run, and that breaks it wide open. It's now 10 for New York. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. 420 feet, 110 miles an hour off the bat. He got all of that one. 31-degree launch angle. He turned around a fastball at 90 miles an hour from pitcher Johnny Humphries. Nandy Fernandez touches them all. The right-hand hitter Hank Greenberg will step in. And the St. Louis Browns bring in a new pitcher, the right-hander Jack Hallett. He's 1-2 on the year with 11 innings pitched. He's allowed 11 hits, 4 earned runs. He's walked 1 and struck out 4. His ERA is 3.27. He'll face Hank Greenberg, righty versus righty, here in the bottom of the 8th. Yankees now lead by 6. Here's the pitch. And that misses, ball 4, and he'll take his base. A 2-out walk. Here's Pat Siri, righty versus righty. Here's the pitch. He hits that in the air, up the elevator shaft, on the infield. The shortstop is racing in toward the plate, and he'll make the catch to retire the side. Yankees strike for 6 runs. They break the tie. It's now 10-6. Top of the ninth inning. St. Louis is 3 outs away from either tying or losing this game. The Yankees will send in Bill White, the left-hand pitcher. He's 0 for 1 on the season, 15 in the third innings pitched, 16 hits allowed, 6 earned runs. He's walked 9 and struck out 3. His ERA is 3.52. The left-hand pitcher will face the left-hand hitting Hal Wagner to lead it off. The catcher is the number 8 hitter. He's 0 for 3 today. The Browns trail by 6. Here's the pitch from White. Lefty versus lefty. Swings and misses, strike 3, and that's the first out. Here's the right-hand hitter, Jimmy Outlaw. He's the pinch hitter. He's 3 for 7 on the season with 2 runs batted in. Lefty versus the right-hand hitter, Outlaw. The delivery. 1 out, top of the ninth. That's hit on the ground to short. He'll pick it up. Fire the first in time for the second out. 7 errors committed in this game. Here's the right-hand hitter, Eddie Stanky. He's the leadoff man, 1 for 4 with a run batted in. The lefty White delivers. That's it in the air to left field. He races toward the infield and he'll make the catch, and that's your ball game. The Yankees trump St. Louis 10-4. Here are the totals for today's game. First, for the victorious New York Yankees. They're now 28-20. 10 runs on 12 hits, 5 errors. The Yankees left 10 men on base. The St. Louis Browns, who are now 25-22, scored 4 runs on 4 hits, 2 errors. They left 6 men on base. Yankees win 10-4 versus St. Louis. The home crowd had a good time watching the St. Louis Browns and New York Yankees get after it. New York picked up a win at Yankee Stadium, bumping off the St. Louis Browns 10-4. Pitcher Bob Kuzava was a major reason why the Yankees emerged victorious. The win elevated the Yankees to 28 wins and 20 defeats. The Browns had been locked in a 4-4 tie with the Yankees going into the bottom of the 8th inning. That changed quickly when the 30-year-old second baseman Mickey Whitehead came to the plate. Whitehead hit a 2-run double on a 2-1 curveball from St. Louis hurler Johnny Humphreys. It was Whitehead's 13th double of the year. I still think this team can play even better, Whitehead told the New York Daily. Ralph Kiner had 3 hits, 3 runs scored in this one. Bill Rigney had 2 hits and a run scored, and 2 runs batted in. Dick Culler, the shortstop, with 2 runs batted in on his hit. Sochik, 2 hits out of 3 at-bats. For the Browns, the hits was only 4 scattered singles. Bob Kuza, the starting pitcher for the New York Yankees, was the player of the game, but he did not get the decision. The winner was Earl Johnson. He's now 2-2. 1 inning pitch, 7 pitches. His earned run average is 9.87. The loss goes to Johnny Humphreys for the Browns. He's now 0-1, and that's his first blown save. An inning and 2/3 pitch, 7 hits allowed, 7 runs, 2 of them earned, 1 strikeout, a homer allowed, 59 pitches thrown, 2.70 ERA. From Yankee Stadium, the New York Yankees defeat the St. Louis Browns 10-4. And now for the National League Showcase game. From Wrigley Field, the Chicago Cubs host the Boston Braves. Here's the starting lineup for the Boston Braves. The leadoff hitter, Johnny Hopp at right field. Irv Dusak at third. Joe DiMaggio in center. Jeff Heath in left field. The cleanup hitter, Buddy Kerr at short. Joe Schultz, the catcher. L.B. Fletcher at first base. Red Sheindies at second. And the starting pitcher, Tommy Hughes. In 6 games, Hughes is a record of 1-4, an earned run average of 3.49, and a 1.50 whip. He's 26 years old. The starting lineup for the Cubs. The leadoff hitter, Johnny Pesky at shortstop. He's got a flame by his name. Ray Sanders at first. Carl Furillo in center. Cleanup hitter, Ted Williams in left field. Clyde McCullough, the catcher. Peanuts Lowry at third. Buddy Blattner at second. Wally Moses in right. The starting pitcher, Oscar Judd. In 7 games, he has a record of 3-1 with a 4.71 ERA and a 1.65 whip. He's 38 years old. "21,000 fans in the stands, clear skies, 71 degrees, wind blowing out to left at 9 miles per hour." The Chicago Cubs lead the National League with a record of 30 wins and 16 losses. They are 18-6 at home. The Boston Braves are in last place in the National League with a record of 17-29. They are 9-19 on the road. Let's play ball. Good afternoon and welcome to Wrigley Field. Today, Chicago takes on Boston. The last place Braves are 17-29. The first place Cubs are 30-16. The Braves hope to end their 5-game losing streak. To know whether Chicago is playing well, look no further than the current 8-game win streak. Chicago is 4-2 against Boston this year. Sunny day on tap. Game time temp is 71 degrees. Hitter-friendly conditions. The wind blowing out to left. Let's play ball. Taking the hill for the Cubs is Oscar Judd. The 38-year-old hurler enters the game 3 wins and 1 loss, a 4.71 ERA. Opponents have hit .277 against him. The batter is Johnny Hopp. He is 5th in runs scored and 31st with 31, and the leader in stolen bases with 9. The 1-0 pitch, base hit, past the third baseman into left field, and we're underway. The batter, right-hand hitter Irv Dusak. He's hitting .298 on the year, 3 home runs, 23 runs batted in. Here's the defense for the Chicago Cubs. Ted Williams in left field. Carl Furillo in center. And Wally Moses over in right. Peanuts Lowry at third base. Johnny Pesky at short. Buddy Blattner, the second baseman. And Ray Sanders at first. The battery, Clyde McCullough behind the plate. And on the mound, left-hand pitcher Oscar Judd. Here's the left-hand pitcher Judge delivering to the right-hand hitter Dusac. That misses. The runner's going. The throw to second, and he's safe. Johnny Hop steals second base. Top of the first inning, nobody out. 2-0 count to Irv Dusac with Hop at second base. Here's the pitch from Judd. And that misses, ball 4, and he'll take his base. 2 men are on with nobody out. And the batter is Joe DiMaggio, the number 3 hitter. The center fielder is hitting .254, 5 homers and 26 runs batted in. Left-hand pitcher Judd versus the righty DiMaggio. The pitch. That's in the air on the infield. The first baseman comes in and will catch the pop fly for the first out. Ray Sanders, first baseman for the Chicago Cubs, makes the play on the infield. 1 away, Hop at second, Dusac at first. The batter, left-hand hitter Jeff Heath. He's the cleanup hitter. The left fielder is hitting .263 with 3 home runs and 27 runs batted in. Here's the pitch from Oscar Judd, lefty versus lefty. That's it on the ground to the second baseman. He throws to second and gets the force play. Johnny Hop to third base. That's the second out. Hop at third, Heath at first. The batter, right-hand hitter Buddy Kerr. He's the number 5 hitter. The shortstop's hitting .255. He has no homers and 16 runs batted in. Lefty versus righty to the delivery. That's it on the ground to third base. He picks it up. He goes to second for the force play, and that's the inning. 2 base runners in the inning, but the Braves do not score. We go to the bottom of the first inning. There's no score. Here's the defense for the Boston Braves. In left field, Jeff Heath. Center field, Joe DiMaggio. And Johnny Hop over in right. Irv Dusac at third base. Buddy Kerr, the shortstop. And Red Scheindings at second. Ellie Fletcher is the first baseman. The battery, Joe Schultz behind the plate. And on the mound, right-hand pitcher Tommy Hughes. Johnny Pesky will step in. The shortstop is the leadoff hitter. He's hitting .362 with no homers and 19 runs batted in. He's on a heater. The right-hand pitcher Hughes against the left-hand hitter Pesky. Here's the pitch. That's hit in the air, and that's a base hit to left field. The leadoff hitter is aboard. He hits the first pitch to left. Johnny Pesky on base, good speed at first. The batter, left-hand hitter Ray Sanders. He's the number 2 hitter. The first baseman's hitting .268, 1 homer, and 14 runs batted in. Right-hand pitcher Hughes delivers to lefty Sanders. The 2-2. That's in the air on the infield. The first baseman comes in on it, and he'll make the catch of the pop-up for the first out. Pesky at first. The batter, right-hand hitter Carl Furillo. The number 3 hitter is the center fielder, hitting .285 with 2 homers and 25 runs batted in. Right-hand pitcher Hughes against the righty Furillo. 1 out. The pitch. That's strike 3 called. The 2-2 pitch is in there, and that's the second out. Pesky still at first. The batter, left-hand hitter Ted Williams. He's the cleanup hitter. The left fielder is hitting .283, 5 homers and 31 runs batted in. Righty versus lefty, the pitch. That's on the ground the first. He scoops it up and takes it himself to retire the side. The Cubs get a hit, but nothing else. At the end of 1, there's no score. Top of the second inning. Braves at bat will advance until there's a runner in scoring position. Top of the second inning. 1 out. Joe Schultz at second base. The batter, right-hand hitter Red Shane-Dinks. He's the number 8 hitter. The second baseman is hitting .303, no homers, and 21 runs batted in. Left-hand pitcher Oscar Judd versus the righty Shine-Dinks. Here's the pitch. That's on the ground to the shortstop. He looks back the runner and throws the first in time for the second out. The right-hand hitter Tommy Hughes will step in. He's the pitcher. 2 out. Schultz at second. No score. Top of the second. We're at Wrigley Field. Braves versus the Cubs. Here's the pitch from Judd. Lefty versus righty. That's hit in the air to center field. He's ranging toward right, and he'll make the catch to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left on. Braves and Cubs still scoreless. Bottom of the second inning. Cubs at bat will advance until there's a runner in scoring position. Top of the third inning. Bottom of the third inning. Bottom of the third inning, Cubs at bat. Wally Moses at second base. Ray Sanders at first with 2 out. The batter, right-hand hitter Carl Furillo. The number 3 hitter is 0 for 1 today. The center fielder hits .283, 2 homers, 25 runs batted in. Righty versus righty. Here's the pitch from Tommy Hughes. That's in the air to center. He runs toward he will not get it, and it's by him and all the way to the wall. A run is in. Our second man's trying to score, and he'll make it. The play at third base, and he's out at third. Furillo brings home 2 with a double, and the Cubs jump out in front 2-0. The play at third retires the side. The Cubs now lead 2-0. We go to the top of the fourth. Cubs lead 2-0. Braves at bat. They got the same hat. Braves at bat. Top of the fourth inning. Will advance until there's a runner in scoring position. Actually, we'll take a hit. Oh, that's hit sharply to center field. He's racing over toward right, but he'll make the catch for the out. It sounded good off the bat. 1 away. Here's Buddy Kerr. Now we're advanced until there's a runner in scoring position. Top of the fourth inning. Braves at bat, 2 out. Buddy Kerr at second base. Left-hand hitter L.B. Fletcher at the plate. The lefty Judge delivers. That's the middle base hit. Center fielder has it. He'll throw it in. The runner's hit it home. There'll be no throw at the plate. Let's see. Yes, they say they have a throw. He hit the cutoff man first, but he's safe, and the Braves are on the board. Cubs lead 2-1. L.B. Fletcher at second base, 2 out. Top of the fourth inning. Braves trail by a run. Such Red Shine-Dinks at the plate. Left-hand pitcher Judd to the righty. Here's the pitch. That's on the ground to third base. He picks it up, throws across the diamond to retire the side. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors. A runner left on. The Braves now trail the Cubs 2-1. Bottom of the 4th inning. Cubs at bat. Advancing. Top of the 5th. Bottom of the 5th. Bottom of the 5th inning. Cubs at bat. 2 out. Oscar Judd at second base. Ray Sanders at first. The batter, right-hand hitter Carl Furillo. He's 1 for 2 today with 2 runs batted in. Here's the pitch from the righty Hughes. That's in the air, center field. That's a base hit. Runner is rounding third and hit it home. The throw home, and he is out at home. Great play by the center fielder, and the side is retired. The score remains 2-1 Chicago. We go to the top of the 6th inning. Braves center fielder Joe DiMaggio made a fine play. Top of the 6th inning. The leadoff hitter is Jeff Heath. Braves at bat. We advance. 2 out. The Braves have Buddy Kerr at second base and L.B. Fletcher at first. The batter, Red Shindinks. Top of the 6th inning. Braves trail by a run. Here's the pitch from Oscar Judd in his 6th inning of work. That's hit sharply to left field for a base hit. The left fielder has it. He'll throw home, but that's a bad throw, and the run will score. It'll be an error on the left fielder. The game is now tied. A run-scoring single by Red Shindinks. Cubs 2, Braves 2. Top of the 6th inning, 2 out. Braves have 2 runners in scoring position. Fletcher at third, Shindinks at second, with first base open. The lefty Judd will pitch to the righty, Emil Verbin. That's the pinch hitter for the pitcher. Emil Verbin will step in. Here's the pitch. That's in the air to left field. He's racing back, but he's there to make the catch, and that will retire the side. 1 run in on 2 hits. The game is now tied 2 runs apiece. Bottom of the 6th inning here at Wrigley Field. The Cubs hosting the Boston Braves. New pitcher for Boston. Right-hand pitcher Earl Caldwell will take the hill. Earl Caldwell is 2-3, 22 innings pitched, 29 hits allowed, 11 earned runs. He's walked 4 and struck out 2. His ERA is 4.5. Bottom of the 6th inning, Cubs at bat, score tied, will advance. One out. Bottom of the 6th, Ted Williams at second base. The batter, left-hand hitter Eddie Mayo, pinch hitting. The right-hand pitcher Earl Caldwell will deliver. The pitch. That's it on the ground to short. He looks the runner back and throws the first for the out. That's 2 away. Williams remains at second base. Right-hand hitter Buddy Blattner will step in. He's 0 for 2 today, hitting .223 on the year. No homers, 23 runs batted in. Righty versus righty. 2 out, delivery. That's hit sharply to left field, a base hit. Williams hit it for third. He's rounding it, and he's hit it home. There'll be a play at the plate, and he's safe. And the Cubs take a 3-2 lead. Left-hand hitter Wally Moses will now step in. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Cubs lead 3-2. Here's the pitch from Earl Caldwell. That's it on the ground to short. He picks it up. He'll take the short way to second base to retire the side. The Cubs come up with a run. They now lead 3-2. Through 6 innings, the Cubs have 3 runs on 9 hits, 1 error. The Braves have 2 runs on 6 hits and no errors. Top of the 7th inning, Braves at bat will advance until there's a runner in scoring position. Or we'll take a hit. That's what I get for playing a full game. The first baseman dives, makes a diving stop, a fine play. He throws to the pitcher covering, but the runner beats it out. They scored a single. Nice play. Let's take a look at it. I haven't done this in a minute. He gets it sharply to first base. He dives, makes the stop, throws to the pitcher covering, but the runner beats it out. Good speed aboard in Johnny Hop. Nobody out, top of the 7th inning. Braves trail by a run. The right-hand hitter, Irv Dusak, will step in. He's the third baseman. He's 0 for 2 today. Lefty Judd still on the mound in his 7th inning of work. He's walked 3 and struck out 2. Here's the no-out pitch. We advance. Top of the 7th inning. 2 out. The Braves have Joe DiMaggio at second base and Jeff Heath at first. The batter, right-hand hitter, Buddy Kerr. Kerr is the number 5 hitter. He's the shortstop. He's hitting .262 with no homers and 16 runs batted in. He's 2 for 3 today. Lefty versus righty. Here's the pitch. That's in the air to right field. He moves a little bit towards center and makes the catch to retire the side. That's the inning. The Braves get nothing and strand 2. Cubs still have the lead 3 to 2. Time now for the 7th inning stretch. Hey, Harry. Wrong error. Bottom of the 7th inning. The Cubs at bat, leading by a run. Advancing. 1 out. Johnny Pesky at second base. The batter, left-hand hitter, Ray Sanders. The number 2 hitter is 1 for 2 today. Righty Earl Campbell in his 2nd inning of work, facing Ray Sanders. Here's the pitch. 1 away. That's in the air on the infield. The second baseman moves in, and he'll make the catch of the pop-up. 2 away. Here's Carl Furillo. The number 3 hitter is 2 for 3 today with 2 runs batted in. Righty versus righty. Here's the delivery from Earl Caldwell. That's it in the air to left field. He moves toward the foul line, and he'll make the catch. That retires the side. Nothing on a hit for the Cubs. The score remains 3-2, Cubs over the Braves. Top of the 8th. Braves at bat, advancing. Bottom of the 8th. Bottom of the 8th inning, Cubs at bat. Ted Williams at second base with nobody out. The batter, right-hand hitter, Clyde McCullough. The catcher is 0 for 2 today, hitting .257 on the year. 2 homers, 17 runs batted in. Left-hand pitcher Ray Prim on the mound for the Braves. Ray Prim has no record. In 26 1/3 innings pitched, he's allowed 31 hits, 13 earned runs. He's walked 5 and struck out 14. His ERA is 4.44. Here's the pitch from the lefty to righty McCullough. The 0-2 pitch, he swings and misses, strike 3, and that's the first out. Here's Johnny Ostrowski, the third baseman. He's 4 for 11 on the season with 2 runs batted in. Lefty versus righty. Williams at second with 1 out. Here's the pitch. Hit in the air to center. He's there to make the catch. Williams looks like he'll tag and try for third, but he goes back to second base. 2 away. Here's Buddy Blattner. The right-hand hitter is 1 for 3 today with a run batted in. The lefty Prim delivers. 2 out. That's in the air over the first baseman, and that'll just be inside the line to be a fair ball. The run will score, and they scored a double. Williams scores, Blattner is at second base, and the Cubs lead 4-2. Buddy Blattner with the RBI double. Bottom of the 8th inning. Cubs still at bat. The left-hand hitter Wally Moses will step in. He's facing the lefty Prim. Here's the pitch. An intentional walk with first base open. 2 out, runners at first and second. The batter, left-hand hitter Oscar Judd, the pitcher. Lefty versus lefty. The 2-out delivery. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's the inning. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, 2 runners left on. Chicago pads their lead. The score now 4-2. Top of the 9th inning. Lefty Oscar Judd trying to complete the job. The Braves at bat. They trail by 2. Will advance until there's a runner in scoring position or the game is over. 1 out. Johnny Hopp at second base. Joe DiMaggio at first. The batter, left-hand hitter Jeff Heath. He's the cleanup hitter. He's 1 for 4 today, hitting .282 on the year. 3 homers, 27 runs batted in. Here's the delivery from lefty Judd to lefty Heath. The 2-1. That's a dribbler to the mound. He picks it up. He'll go to second base, and he'll get him on the fielder's choice. Johnny Hopp advances to third. That's the 2nd out. New pitcher for the Chicago Cubs. It'll be Joe Page. The left-hand pitcher. Page is 3-2 on the year with 11 1/3 innings pitched, 10 hits allowed, 3 earned runs. He's walked 6 and struck out 9. His ERA is 2.38. The lefty will face right-hand hitter Buddy Kerr. He's the number 5 hitter. 2 for 4 today, hitting .260 on the year. No homers, 16 runs batted in. 2 out, top of the 9th. The tying run is at second base. The go-ahead run is at the plate. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's your ball game. The Chicago Cubs defeat the Boston Braves 4-2. This is their 9th victory in a row. They are red hot as a team. The Wrigley faithful are happy today. Let's look at the totals for today's game. First, for the victorious Chicago Cubs, who have a league-leading 31 wins and 16 losses. They scored 4 runs on 12 hits, 2 errors. The Cubs left 8 men on base. The Boston Braves, now 17-30, they scored 2 runs on 9 hits, no errors. They left 12 men on base. Cubs get 4-2 win versus Boston. The first place Chicago Cubs took on the Boston Braves in front of a spirited crowd. Chicago registered a win at Wrigley Field by beating the Boston Braves 4-2. Pitcher Oscar Judd was one reason why the Cubs triumphed. Judd yielded 2 runs over 8 2/3 innings to notch the win. He scattered 9 hits, walked 4, and struck out 2. his record improves to 4-1. The Cubs got a big bat from center fielder Carl Furillo. For the game, Furillo was 2 for 4 with a double while adding 2 RBI. In the bottom of the third, with runners on first and second, he stroked a 2-run double, his 11th double of the season, gave Chicago a 2-0 lead. Chicago manager Charlie Grimm commended his team for exhibiting no shortage of effort. Chicago now has Chicago has now won 9 straight, while the Braves have lost 6 in a row. Johnny Pesky had 2 hits. Carl Furillo, 2 runs batted in. Ted Williams, and 2 runs scored. Buddy Blattner, 2 hits and 2 RBI. Fine team effort. Player of the game is Chicago starter Oscar Judd. He gets the win. He's now 4-1. 8 2/3 innings pitched, 9 hits allowed, 2 runs, both earned, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts, no homers, 136 pitches thrown, ERA at 4.32. Joe Page gets the save, his third. The loser is Earl Caldwell for the Braves. He's now 2-4. He pitched 2 innings, allowed 3 hits, an earned run, didn't walk or strike out anyone, no homers allowed, and he threw 22 pitches. His ERA is 4.5. From Wrigley Field, the final score, the Cubs win 4-2. Now we continue with Showcase Sunday. And now it's time for the real-time sim. Let's take a look at the totals, the finals. In the American League, the Yankees defeated the St. Louis Browns 10-4. And the Cubs defeated the Boston Braves 4-2. As you can see, each of these teams have a 405 nightcap to their doubleheaders. So now we will see the rest of the games completed in real time. First, the games with a 105 start. 4 of them are underway. We've got one game, Washington hosting the Tigers. That is not a doubleheader. It's a 205 start. You'll see the Giants and Cardinals are also underway. And then we'll have 2 of the 405 games. Now you don't see the other 405 nightcaps because their earlier games are not completed yet. So they will come up later and we will show the results in real time. The top performers here in the lower right corner for those of you watching. The players listed are from the 2 games that have already been completed. And here we go. And we're underway. Top of the first inning, the New York Giants take a 1-0 lead over the Cardinals. Goody Rosen singles home Herman. The Giants take a 3-0 lead in the top of the first. Dick Wakefield hits a 2-run home run. In the bottom of the first inning, the Red Sox take a 1-0 lead over the White Sox. Charlie Keller singles, scoring Mazzy. The Red Sox take a 2-0 lead over the White Sox in the bottom of the first. Pete Suter triples home Keller. Bottom of the first, the Red Sox now leading 4-0 as Billy Jurgis doubles, Suter and Walker score. In the bottom of the second inning, the Cincinnati Reds take a 1-0 lead over the Brooklyn Dodgers. Babe Young hits a sac fly. Korowski scores. In the top of the third inning, the Philadelphia Phillies take a 1-0 lead over the Pittsburgh Pirates at Forbes Field. Billy Johnson hits a sac fly, scoring Cool. The Reds take a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the second inning. Guy Cutright doubles. Garagiola scores. The Philadelphia Athletics at home, hosting the Cleveland Guardians, take a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the third. Hank Edwards hits a solo home run for the A's. So far, the top performer is Bob Kuzawa for the New York Yankees. In the bottom of the third inning, the Cincinnati Reds takes a 3-0 lead over the Brooklyn Dodgers. Augie Galan singles, scoring Vallow. In the top of the fourth inning, the Philadelphia Phillies take a 2-0 lead over the Pittsburgh Pirates. Wale Judnick singles, Enos scores. In the top of the fourth, the Phillies add to their lead, leading 3-0 over the Pirates. Case Michaels grounds into a double play. Robinson scores. In the bottom of the third inning, the Cincinnati Reds lead the Brooklyn Dodgers 4-0 as Eddie Miller singles, Galan scores. The Philadelphia Phillies take a 5-0 lead over the Pirates in the top of the fifth inning. Aaron Robinson doubles, Reese and Walker score. The Cleveland Guardians tie the game with the Philadelphia A's in the top of the sixth. Hoot Evers singles for Waitkus scoring. In the top of the fifth inning, the Phillies take a 6-0 lead over the Pirates. Wale Judnick doubles, Robinson scores. Tex Houston has just taken the top spot in the top performers of the day. The Chicago White Sox get on the board in the top of the sixth inning against the Boston Red Sox. Willard Marshall hits a solo home run. The Red Sox lead 4-1. The Philadelphia Phillies take a 7-0 lead over the Pittsburgh Pirates in the top of the 7th inning. Dale Ennis hits a sac fly, scoring Walker. The Detroit Tigers take a 1-0 lead over the Washington Senators in the 4th inning of their game. Eddie Robinson hits a solo home run. The St. Louis Cardinals have tied the game with the New York Giants in the bottom of the 7th inning. Jim Russell singles, Philly and Paget score. In the top of the 7th inning, the Chicago White Sox get on the board again. They trail the Boston Red Sox 4-2. Ron Northey grounds out. Fry scores. The Cardinals take a 5-3 lead over the Giants in the bottom of the 7th inning. Frank McCormick singles home Rucker and Russell. The Philadelphia Athletics take a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the 8th. Yogi Berra doubles home Cox. The A's take a 3-1 lead in the 8th inning. Sid Gordon singles and Berra scores. The Philadelphia Phillies, in the top of the 8th inning, take a wait a minute. This is information. Pee Wee Reese has 4 hits in the game. Phillies versus the Pirates, and the Pirates are trailing 7-0. The A's lead the Cleveland Guardians 3-1 in the 9th. That's a final. The winner is Tex Houston. The loser, Johnny Sain. The Reds take a 5-0 lead over the Brooklyn Dodgers in the bottom of the 7th. Red Barrett doubles home Cutright. The Phillies take an 8-0 lead over the Pirates in the top of the 9th. Aaron Robinson hits a solo home run. We have a final. The Cardinals defeat the Giants at home 5-3. The winner is Reynolds. The loser, Lions. Wally Jutnick has 4 hits in the game for the Philadelphia Phillies as they are leading the Pittsburgh Pirates at Forbes Field 8-0. The Phillies take a 9-0 lead in the top of the 9th. Joe Cool grounds into a double play, Jutnick scoring. Pittsburgh is not going to be shut out today as they put a run on the board in the bottom of the 9th inning. Johnny Mize doubles, Elliott scores. We have a final in Pittsburgh. The Philadelphia Phillies defeat the Pirates in Game 1 of their twin bill, 9-1. The winner is Gronick, the loser, Rowe. The Reds take a 6-0 lead in the bottom of the 8th inning. Eddie Miller singles home Galan. Top of the 9th inning, the Dodgers get on the board. They trail the Cincinnati Reds at Crossley Field 6-1. Floyd Baker grounds out, Edwards scores. We have a final in the Reds-Dodgers game. The Reds win 6-1 at home. The winner is Barrett. The loser is Kennedy. Tex Houston is atop the top performers board with a complete game. The Senators have, let me see, where am I here? The Giants take a 1-0 lead over the Cardinals in the first inning of their nightcap. Goody Rosen singles, Herman scores. The Senators tie the Tigers in the bottom of the 8th inning of their contest. George Case hits a sac fly. Gillenwater scores. Giants take a 2-0 lead in the top of the first. Daffy Wright hits a sac fly. Boudreaux scores. The Braves take a 1-0 lead over the Cubs in the nightcap of their twin bill. In the top of the first inning, Joe DiMaggio hits a sac fly. Hop scores. The Senators take a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the 8th over the Tigers. Marty Marion singles home win. The Tigers have tied that score in the top of the 9th inning. Farrell Anderson sac fly scores Hendricks. The Cubs tie the game with the Braves. It's 1-1 in the bottom of the first inning. Ray Sanders singles, Blattner scores. Cubs take the lead in the bottom of the first as Wally Moses grounds into a fielder's choice. Sanders score. The White Sox get closer to the Red Sox in the top of the seventh inning. George Kell singles home Brown. They trail the Red Sox 4-3. The Cubs take a 3-1 lead in the bottom of the first. Peanuts Lowry grounds out and Ferrillo scores. The Cubs extend their lead in the bottom of the first inning. Chuck Workman singles home Moses. The Dodgers take a 1-0 lead over the Reds in the top of the second inning of their nightcap. Frank Mancuso singles home McCoskey. The White Sox tie the game with the Red Sox in the top of the seventh inning. Stan Musial doubles. Kell scores. The Browns take a 1-0 lead over the Yankees in the top of the second. Jim Hegan grounds into a fielder's choice. Hatton scores. The A's take a 1-0 lead over the Guardians in the bottom of the second. Paul Richards grounds into a fielder's choice and Ross scores. The Senators take a 3-2 lead in the bottom of the ninth. Early Wynn singles home Dorr. We have a final. That is a walk-off win for the Washington Senators as they defeat the Detroit Tigers 3-2 in their single game. Wynn gets the win and Wade gets the loss. The Philadelphia Athletics lead the Cleveland Guardians 4-0 in the bottom of the second inning. Hank Edwards doubles home Clay, Richards, and Brichin. The A's take a 5-0 lead in the bottom of the second inning as Billy Cox doubles home Edwards. The Reds tie the Dodgers in the bottom of the second. Guy cut right hits a sac fly, scoring Karowski. The A's take a 6-0 lead over the Guardians in the bottom of the second inning. Les Fleming singles home Cox. The White Sox take the lead over the Red Sox in the top of the eighth. Ed Stephen grounds into a fielder's choice. Nicholson scores. The A's take a 7-0 lead over the Guardians in the bottom of the second inning. Dane Clay walks. Gordon scores. St. Louis Cardinals gets on the board against the Giants. They now trail 2-1 in the bottom of the third inning. Roy Cullenby singles home Keltner. The A's take a 9-0 lead in the bottom of the third inning. Sid Gordon triples, scoring Richards and Edwards. Philadelphia takes a 10-0 lead in the bottom of the third. Don Ross singles home Gordon. The Boston Braves get closer to the Cubs. They trail them 4-2. In the top of the fourth inning, Mike Sandlock hits a sac fly, scoring Kerr. We have a final with the Red Sox and White Sox. The White Sox win on the road at Fenway 5-4. The winners Jones, the loser Casey. St. Louis Browns take a 2-0 lead over the Yankees in the top of the fifth. Phil Marchildon doubles. Egan scores. The Reds take a 2-1 lead over the Brooklyn Dodgers in the bottom of the fifth. Frankie Gustin singles home Miller. They extend that lead to 3-1 as Elmer Vallow singles home Gustin. And they extend it further to a 4-1 lead in the bottom of the fifth inning. As Whitey Karowski reaches on an error, Vallow scores. The Yankees get on the board against the Browns. They now trail 2-1 at Yankee Stadium in the bottom of the fifth inning. Sherm Lawler doubles home Socek. The Boston Red Sox get underway against the White Sox in Game 2 of their twin bill. They take a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the first. Harry Walker doubles home Keller. The Cardinals tie the game with the Giants in the bottom of the sixth inning. Fred Hutchison reaches on an error and Rowell scores. They're tied 2-2. The Red Sox and White Sox in their game. The White Sox are now on the board. They tie the game in the top of the third. It's now 1-1. George Kell runs into a fielder's choice. Brown scores. The St. Louis Browns take a 3-1 lead over the Yankees at Yankee Stadium in the top of the seventh. Eddie Stanky singles home Brown. The Browns extend their lead to 5-1 in the top of the seventh as Buddy Lewis singles home Medwick and Stanky. The Cubs take a 5-2 lead in the bottom of the sixth inning as Kyle Perillo doubles home Sanders. The Philadelphia A's take a 1-0 lead in the bottom of that's a, what is that? 11-0 lead. Can't see it. In the bottom of the seventh, Billy Cox hits a solo home run. Phillies take a 1-0 lead over the Pittsburgh Pirates in the top of the ninth inning. Wally Judnick hits a solo homer. We have a final. The Reds defeat the Dodgers at home 4-1. The winner is Newsom, the loser Lanier. Roger Wolf has pitched a 4-hit shutout. We have a final. The Philadelphia Phillies defeat the Pirates 1-0. Wolf with the win, Husser with the loss. Wally Judnick has taken the top spot in the performance. He's 5 for 8 with 3 doubles and a homer. 3 runs batted in. The Braves get on the board against the Cubs in Wrigley Field. They now trail 5-3. The Mike's Sadler singled home Fletcher. The A's now lead 12-0 as Harry Beechen walks and Ross scores. The Yankees draw closer to the Browns at home. They are trailing 5-2 in the bottom of the ninth. Pat Mullen hits a solo homer. The Braves get closer to the Cubs. It's now 5-4 in the top of the eighth as Al Lickby hits a sac fly and Scheindinks scores. The Red Sox take a 5-1 lead over the White Sox in the bottom of the fifth. Red Granger hits a grand slam. We have a final with the Browns and Yankees. The Browns defeat the Yankees at Yankee Stadium 5-2 on the road. The winner is Mal Chilton. The loser is Leonard. Harry Beechen has pitched a 5-hit shutout. We have a final. The Philadelphia Athletics defeat the Cleveland Guardians 12-0. Winner is Beechen. The loser is Higbee. The Giants take a 3-2 lead in the top of the 10th. Dick Wakefield walks home Lopat. The Braves tie the Cubs in the top of the ninth. Chet Heath doubles home DiMaggio. That's Joe DiMaggio. The White Sox get closer to the Red Sox in the top of the sixth inning. They trail 5-2. Jake Early singled home Marshall. The White Sox make it very interesting as they now only trail by a run, 5-4 in the top of the sixth as Jimmy Brown singles home Nicholson and Early. Of a final with the Giants and Cards. The Giants defeat the Cardinals in extra innings 3-2 at Sportsman's Park. Eddie Lopat gets the win, his ninth. Hutchison gets the loss. The Cubs take the lead in the bottom of the ninth. Looks like a walk-off win for the Cubbies. Don Callaway hits a sac fly, scoring Pesky, and that is a final. Cubs win 6-5. The winning pitcher is Adams. The loser is Caldwell. We have one game remaining, and that's the Red Sox and the White Sox. They're in the top of the seventh inning. The score is 5-4 in favor of the homestanding Red Sox. Our top three performers thus far: Wally Judnick of Philadelphia, Tex Houston for the Philadelphia Athletics. That was the Phillies for Judnick. And then Wolf for the Phillies is the number 3 guy. Judnick is 5 for 8 as a hitter, and the other two have complete game victories, Houston and Wolf. Yeah, Wolf. And the game at Fenway is being delayed right now. It is 7:45 in the evening Eastern Time. So when this game gets back underway, so let's take a look at the rest of our top performers of the day while there's a rain delay at Fenway Park. Tex Houston, 9 innings pitched, 5 hits allowed. He allowed a run, walked 1, struck out 7. Roger Wolf, 9 innings pitched, 4 hits allowed, no runs, no walks, struck out 2. Harry Breachin, 9 innings pitched, 5 hits allowed, no runs, no walks, he struck out 3 for the Philadelphia A's. Ed Herser for the Pittsburgh Pirates, 9 innings pitched, 5 hits allowed, 1 run, 1 walk, and struck out 4. All right, the game is back underway at Fenway. And the Red Sox, in the bottom of the 7th inning, take a 6-4 lead. Al Peck hits a sac fly, and Jurgis scores. So they extend their lead to 6-4. So let's take a look here. We had Steve Grummick of the Philadelphia Phillies, complete game victory. Complete game. Bobo Newsom of the Reds, 9 innings pitched. Joe Hatton of the Tigers, 8 innings pitched. Red Barrett of the Reds, 9 innings pitched. Johnny Sane of the Guardians, 8 innings pitched. And Ed Lopat pitched 9 1/3 innings tonight. The score, Red Sox still lead the White Sox by 2, 6-4 in the bottom of the 8th inning. They now enter the 9th inning. The score is still 6-4 Red Sox. They had a lengthy, probably rain delay, I would think. Top of the 9th inning. White Sox have 2 men on in scoring position in the top of the 9th. And they tie the game. Top of the 9th inning, George Kell doubles home Northey and Dom DiMaggio. And the White Sox have tied the game 6-6 in the top of the 9th. They still have runners on the corners with 2 out. And let's see. Early is at bat. Perk's on the mound. And White Sox have gone ahead. Lonnie Fry singles home Kell in the top of the 9th. And they take a 7-6 lead. It is now in the bottom of the 9th inning. Nobody on, 1 out. 2 out now, still nobody on base. Red Sox down to their last out. And that's the ball game. We have a final. The White Sox defeat the Red Sox 7-6. The winner is Jones. The loser is Ferrick. And those are the contests for Week 7. Week 7 is now in the books. Let's see where we stand as of Week 7. In the American League, the Detroit Tigers, with a record of 28-19, lead the league. They lead the New York Yankees 28-21 by 1 game. They lead the St. Louis Browns by 2.5 games with a record of 26-22. And in fourth place, the Chicago White Sox at 24-21, trail by 3 games. The leader in run differential are the Detroit Tigers. With 61, they're almost double the rest of the league. And baseball. The Yankees at +10 have had some breaks. The Browns at +11. And the White Sox at +2. The extra innings tell the tale, as the Yankees are 10-3 in extra inning games. The Tigers and Browns are 500 at 7-7. The White Sox are 9-8. The Tigers have lost their last 2 games and are 5-5 in their last 10. The Yankees have lost their last game and have lost 6 of their last 10. The Browns have won 7 of 10 and won their last contest. The White Sox have won 3 in a row, however, they've lost 6 of their last 10. In the National League, the Chicago Cubs lead with a baseball best 32-16 record. The Philadelphia Phillies trail by 4.5 games and have climbed their way to second place with a record of 26-19. The Dodgers are 26-22, 6 games back. And the Giants are 25-24, 7.5 back. The leaders in run differential are the Cubs and Phillies. The Cubs have had the ball bounce their way with a +4 Pythagorean difference. The Dodgers at +16 and the Giants at +14 have also done well. In one-run games, the Cubs are 12-5, the Phillies 11-5, and the Dodgers 10-6. These are 3 of the 4 best records in baseball. On the contrary, the St. Louis Cardinals have lost 11 one-run games. The Pirates have lost 12. In the streak department, the Chicago Cubs have won 10 in a row, but only to be outdone by the Philadelphia Phillies, who've won 13 straight. The Dodgers in third place have lost 3 straight, and they are 5-5 in their last 10. The Cincinnati Reds have won 3 straight. They also are 5-5 in their last 10. And now, here's a quick order of players' stats to go. In the American League, the leaders in batting average, Stan Spence of the Detroit Tigers at .379, Stan Musial at .345 for the Chicago White Sox, Clyde Klutz of the Cleveland Guardians at .333, Dom DiMaggio of the Chicago White Sox at .332, and Bill Sockeld of the Detroit Tigers at .327. The American League leaders in home runs. For the Tigers, Eddie Robinson with 11, and Chet Lobbs with 10. For the Yankees, Ralph Kiner with 8. The Philadelphia Athletics, Hank Edwards with 7, and Hank Greenberg of the Yankees with 7. The leaders in the American League in runs batted in. Eddie Robinson with 40 of the Tigers, Musial of the White Sox with 35, Edwards of the A's with 33, Lobbs of the Tigers with 30, and Northey of the White Sox with 30. And the leaders in on-base percentage, OPS, on-base plus slugging, Stan Spence at .995 for the Tigers is the leader, followed by Stan Musial at .984 for the White Sox, Bill Sockeld of the Tigers at .923, Eddie Robinson of the Tigers at .916, and Charlie Keller of the Red Sox at .884. In the National League, the batting leader is Augie Galan of the Cincinnati Reds at .376, Donnie Pesky of the Cubs at .368, Whitey Karowski of the Cincinnati Reds at .360, Pee Wee Reese of the Philadelphia Phillies at 351. And Goody Rosen of the Giants at 328. The National League leaders in home runs. Johnny Mize of the Pirates has 7. And Walker Cooper of the Pirates. Ken Keltner of the Cardinals. Whitey Kurowski of the Reds. And Dick Wakefield of the Giants all have 6 home runs each. The leaders in run batted in the senior circuit. Whitey Kurowski of the Reds has 40. Mize of the Pirates has 34. Sam Chapman of the Dodgers has 31 runs batted in. Ted Williams of the Cubs has 31. And Goody Rosen of the Giants has 30. And the National League leaders in on-base plus slugging, Whitey Kurowski, 1.056. Augie Gallant at 962. Johnny Mize at 932 of the Pirates. Williams of the Cubs at 907. And Pee Wee Reese of the Phillies at 886. Stay tuned for a full recap in next week's It's Monday. This is the Sim Baseball Vision.